Have you ever had to take a DNA test in the delivery room? Have you ever faced a situation where doctors told you this is medically impossible? I did. And what I learned that day isn't even written in science books. It was March 2019. My husband Herbun and I were eagerly awaiting the birth of our baby. We had reached the end of a 9-month journey, and everything seemed perfect. I hadn't experienced any complications during my pregnancy. The doctors said everything was normal. We were expecting a girl, and we were going to name her Lala. Herbun and I had been married for 8 years. We were both dark brown-skinned, curly-haired. Our families had been from southern Turkey for generations. It was natural to think our baby would look like us, but fate had other plans. My contractions started at 6 a.m. that day. Herbun rushed me to the hospital, his hands sweating as he gripped the steering wheel. "Everything will be fine, Polly," he said, holding my hand. "In a few hours we'll be holding our daughter." But a few hours turned into 18 hours. The delivery was difficult, long and painful. At one point, doctors mentioned a C-section might be necessary, but finally Lala managed to come into the world naturally. "Here's your daughter," the doctor called out, lifting the baby up. But there was a strange tone in his voice, a hesitation. The nurses looked at each other. The room suddenly fell silent. "Can I see my baby?" I asked, breathless. My body was trembling from exhaustion, but I was dying to see my daughter. I'll never forget the expression on the doctor's face as he brought the baby to me. It was a mixture of astonishment, confusion, and slight panic. When he placed Lala in my arms, the world stopped. My daughter was pink. Don't get me wrong, not newborn pink. She was a white baby. Pale pink skin, straight platinum blonde hair, and light blue eyes. She looked nothing like me or Herbun. The words knotted in my throat. "This can't be mine." Herbun jumped up from his chair and looked at Lala. The blood drained from his face. "Polly, what is this?" he whispered, his voice trembling. "There must be a mistake," I said, panicking. "The nurse must have mixed up my baby with another baby." But the doctor shook his head. "No, Mrs. Polly, this is the baby you gave birth to. The umbilical cord hadn't even been cut yet. There's no chance of a mix-up." The room descended into chaos. Herbun started yelling at me, accusing me of sleeping with another man. "How could you do this to me?" he shouted. 8 years. I trusted you for 8 years. "Herbun, no," I screamed, tears streaming down my cheeks. "I swear to you I've never been with anyone else in my life. You're my only man." "Then how do you explain this?" he yelled, pointing at the baby. "This baby is completely different from us. Do you think I'm stupid?" The doctor tried to intervene. "Please calm down, Mr. Herbun. There must be a logical explanation." "A logical explanation?" Herbun's voice filled the room. "My wife cheated on me. That's the logical explanation." At that moment, Herbun collapsed to the floor. Shock, anger, and disappointment made him faint. Nurses rushed to help him, but I just stood there holding a baby I looked nothing like. My life shattered. The next 2 hours were a nightmare. After Herbun woke up, he never spoke to me again. He just looked from afar, anger and betrayal in his eyes, and I could do nothing. How could I defend myself? The facts were right before our eyes. The doctor suggested a DNA test. "It's the best way to clarify this matter," he said in a calm voice. "We'll get the results in a few days." In a cold voice, Herbun said, "I don't need to wait for the results. The truth is obvious. I'm not this child's father." "But you are her daddy," I cried. "I swear, Herbun, there must be an explanation. Please believe me." Herbun turned and left the room, and in that moment the darkest period of my life began. The following week, waiting for the results, I lived through hell. Herbun wasn't talking to me. He had called his family, told them his wife had cheated. My mother-in-law called me on the phone and yelled at me for tarnishing the family. My father-in-law told Herbun to file for divorce. My own family was shocked too. My mother asked, crying, "How can this be, Polly? You can't do something like this." "I didn't, Mom," I screamed. "I swear I did nothing." But no one believed me. The evidence was right before their eyes. A dark-skinned couple, a white baby. The math didn't add up. Someone from the hospital staff must have leaked photos on social media because my story started spreading quickly. News headlines appeared. Cheated husband shocked in delivery room. The comments were merciless. Poor man, lived a lie for 8 years. Isn't this woman ashamed at all? DNA test is even unnecessary. It's obvious what happened. Every day when I came home, I found new threats, new insult messages. Neighbors looked at me sideways. Acquaintances at the market changed their path. Herbun was staying in a separate room. He wouldn't even look at the baby. She's not my daughter, he said. Why do you expect me to care for her? But I was heartbroken looking at Lala. That innocent baby, unaware of anything, was sleeping in my arms. I loved her regardless of whose baby she was, because I had carried her in my womb for 9 months. She was my daughter, no matter what anyone said. When the DNA test results came in, Dr. Ayşe Yilmaz called us into a private room. The expression on her face was a strange mixture, astonishment, curiosity, and a bit of excitement. Please sit down, she said, holding a thick file. Herbun and I sat across from each other, as if there were miles between us. I was holding the baby. Herbun was looking away. First of all, I must say, Dr. Yilmaz began, this is the most extraordinary case I've seen in my 35-year career. My heart started racing. What do the results say? I asked, my voice cracking. The doctor took a deep breath. The DNA test shows that Lala is 100% Polly's biological daughter, and 100% Herbun's biological daughter. Silence. Absolute deafening silence. But that's impossible, Herbun finally said. Look at the baby. She's completely different from us. I know, said Dr. Yilmaz, and that's exactly why we did further tests. Polly, you have a very rare condition. We call it chimerism. Chimerism, I repeated. What does that mean? Dr. Yilmaz began to explain. In the very early stages of your pregnancy, you were one of twin babies, but that twin embryo had to merge with you in the mother's womb. As a result, your body has 2 different DNA sets. My head was spinning. Meaning, the doctor continued. One of your ovaries has the DNA, not of you, but of your non-existent twin. Lala came from that DNA set. Herbun leaned forward. Wait a minute, so Polly has someone else's DNA inside her? Simply put, yes, said Dr. Yilmaz. Polly is still Lala's biological mother, but the baby came not from Polly's own DNA, but from her twin sibling's DNA. It's as if Polly's body was a carrier carrying her twin's eggs. What about the color difference? Herbun asked. Polly's twin probably had recessive genes, the doctor said. White skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, all of these can come from genes that both of you could carry but remained hidden under dominant genes. The twin expressed them, Polly didn't. No one in the room spoke. This explanation, which seemed like something out of science fiction, was actually medically possible. How rare is this? I finally asked. Very rare, said Dr. Yilmaz. There are only a few cases in the literature. Maybe 1 in 100 million. You're part of medical history, Polly. Herbun put his head in his hands. So, Polly didn't cheat? Absolutely not, the doctor said firmly. This baby is 100% both of yours. Polly is just a genetically unique mother. Herbun's eyes filled with tears. He got up, came to me, and dropped to his knees. Polly, he whispered, his voice breaking. What have I done to you? God, what have I done? I was crying too. You didn't understand. No one could have understood. I accused you. My family attacked you. Everyone made you look like a monster. And you were innocent. He laid his head in my lap and began sobbing. Dr. Yilmaz graciously left the room, giving us some privacy. Can you forgive me? Herbun asked, touching Lala's tiny hand. I already have, I said. You just reacted to what you saw. Anyone would have. But now I know the truth, he said, holding the baby for the first time. This is our daughter, and she's perfect. Lala looked at him and smiled. In that moment, everything changed. But the story didn't end there. I had to explain the results to everyone, to my family, my mother-in-law, that shouting crowd on social media. Herbun's family was shocked but apologized. My mother-in-law called me crying. Polly, I don't know what to say. We treated you so badly. It's in the past, I said. But there was still pain in my heart. I told my story on social media.
I talked about chimerism syndrome, shared DNA reports, uploaded the doctor's explanation video. The reactions were mixed. This can't be real. It's like science fiction. Poor woman, imagine what she went through. Medical miracle. This woman is a hero. I still don't believe it. There must be a trick. Some still didn't believe, but I didn't care anymore. I knew the truth. My family knew. And most importantly, Herbun knew. Months passed. Lala grew, learned to walk, said her first word. Mom, she said, looking at me. In that moment, all the pain, all the tears were worth it. Herbun became a wonderful father. He took Lala everywhere, met her every need. I almost lost her, he told me one night. I'll never forgive myself. It's in the past, I said, holding his hand. Today Lala is 5 years old. She still has blonde hair and blue eyes. People still look at us strangely, but I don't care anymore, because I'm her mother. Herbun is her father, and we're a family. I was invited to medical conferences to tell my story. You're a miracle of science, they said. I'm just a miracle of motherhood, I thought. Now I tell pregnant women, your body is incredible. Sometimes it does things even science can't explain. And if one day something strange happens to you in the delivery room, don't panic. Science exists. Truth exists. And sometimes, truth can be stranger than your imagination. I'm Polly, the mother who carries her twins' DNA. And this is the story I proudly claim.